Here are the 4 areas of self-care that you need to focus on to support your spiritual awakening and ascension. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I help people master the law of attraction, spiritually awaken, and embark on a path of ascension. And today I'm going to share with you the 4 areas that you need to focus on with your self-care to support your spiritual awakening and ascension. But before I begin, leave me a comment below and let me know what your favorite thing is to do for your self-care. Now, firstly, let me say that ascension is a process. It's not a one-time event. Actually, it refers to our ongoing evolution on our human level and also on our planetary level. So when we talk about ascension, we're talking about a specific acceleration of that process, which sometimes can be quite dramatic. And basically, in simple terms, we are evolving back into a state of pure love and oneness. And when you make a decision that you wish to ascend, you are making a statement to the universe that you welcome an acceleration of your process of evolution in the cosmos. So once you state that intention, you are literally beginning to work with cosmic forces together to accelerate your evolution. Now, that process by necessity must include a high level of self-care, and that's so that you can more easily navigate those highly powered ascension energies, which are only going to be increasing with time. So self-care in this sense is about retaining a powerful sense of yourself. It's about responding to your natural need for peace, for feeling centered, for just feeling certain and secure, and also feeling a state of ultimate serenity. Now, self-care is not a luxury, especially not when we're talking about ascension. It's a very important part of your experience. So it's important to know why you are doing it. And the main reason you want to consider self-care to be a very important part of your life is so that you can be fully present in your body and in your life. You are basically engaging in self-care so that you can live your higher purpose and retain a conscious sense of choice in terms of the direction of your personal and human evolution. Now, the 4 areas of self-care that you want to focus on and attend to are the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. So let's start with talking about the physical. Now, with each of these areas of self-care, you want to be clear about what your goal is. And when it comes to your physical body, your goal should be to always maintain the most optimal level of health that is possible for you. And a lot of this is actually simple common sense. Your physical body is a living thing, and it needs 3 basic needs met: adequate sleep and rest, good nutrition, and movement and exercise. And I know that might sound overly simplified, but actually it's not. You can look at it in the same way you would look at a plant in a garden. What does a plant need in order to thrive? It needs sunlight, water, and nutrient-rich soil. And if that plant has all 3 of those things provided to it on a regular basis, that plant will thrive and grow. And our physical bodies are also a part of nature. Think of your physical body as a living thing. So if you provide your body with the best possible means of those 3 needs, good nutrition, adequate sleep, and exercise, your body can thrive as well. So when you're thinking about self-care for your physical body, just keep it very simple and ask yourself, am I physically thriving? because if you're not, the chances are very good that you might be neglecting things in one of those 3 areas. So even though this might sound silly, you can actually treat your body as well as you might treat a plant if you were a gardener that wanted to have a beautiful, thriving, healthy plant. Look at your physical body in the same way, and then you will know exactly what you need to do for your self-care. Now, the second area that you want to focus on is the emotional self, your emotions. And in this area, your goal is calmness and balance. Now, we are bombarded every single day with information and circumstances and all kinds of things that cause us to react on an emotional level. So the best way to handle this in the simplest way in terms of your self-care on the emotional level is to think of your emotions as being like water. What you're aiming for is to have calm waters of serenity. You want those waters to be peaceful and as still as possible. You don't want waters that are like choppy with big waves, like in a storm, okay? For example, a storm affects water in that way. It causes the waves to go up and down, and they're just all over the place, and it's, you know, could feel like a lot of chaos. So if you think about the things that we are bombarded with and how that affects our emotions, if your emotions are like water, it will cause your emotions to go up and down and all over the place. So if you just keep a simple image in your mind of your emotions being like water, you can then say to yourself, hold on a minute, what's happening with me emotionally? I need to bring those waters back to a calm state of peace and serenity. So that's your goal, balance and calmness. So if you find yourself on an emotional roller coaster of reactivity, think of it as being like those waves, and how are you going to bring your emotions back to a state of quiet calmness? Now, the ways to do that are really very simple, and you might even already have tried some of these, but I'm trying to help you put this in perspective so that you are clear about exactly what to do and what you're aiming for. So some of the ways that you can bring your emotions back to a state of calm, these ways are actually simple, but they're very powerful. One of my favorite ways is the use of essential oils. You can use therapeutic grade essential oils. You can apply them to your skin, you can diffuse them, and they will instantly begin to calm you. Use specific oils that are meant for calming purposes. Another way to calm your emotions is to just go out in nature, because when you go in nature, you're connecting with the resonating energy of the entire planet Earth, which will automatically bring your emotions back into a more calm state of balance, because it puts you in resonance with the Earth and in harmony with your natural state of balance. Another fast way to calm your emotions is through the use of music. Now, that's a very personal thing, so you probably know the kind of music that you would play to calm you and to bring your emotions back to that balanced state of being. Another very effective way to calm your emotions quickly is through the use of positive affirmations. Meditation is another great way. Now, these are ways to calm your emotions in a moment-by-moment situation. And the reason you want to do this is you want to train yourself to be able to bring your emotions to that state of calm. And here is why: because then you will have a way to deal with those deeper emotional issues and process them in your own timing, instead of being overwhelmed with reactivity to stuff that's going on around you. Now, the thing that you never want to do if your emotions are very reactive is do something to escape them. You don't want to look to escape the feeling, because that just creates repression and suppression, and it's going to come back later to haunt you in some other form. So instead of thinking about escaping your emotions, think about a way to calm them so that you have clarity and you can choose your own timing of how you want to process through and transmute those deeper emotional issues that you know you have to get through. Now, the third area that you want to focus your self-care on is mental. And your goal in this area is very simple. It's clarity. In other words, you don't want to be clogging up your mind with a whole bunch of stuff that you don't really need or that isn't necessary. I mean, we do suffer from information overload in the world today, right? So you want to place yourself, you want to make a decision to be in control of what you allow to enter your mind and why. Because everything that enters your mind affects your vibration. If something negative enters your mind and you accept that into your consciousness, it will lower your vibration. And on the other hand, if something positive enters your mind and you accept that into your consciousness, it will raise your vibration. So you want to realize that the things that you allow into your consciousness, into the space of your precious mind, is having a direct influence on the level of your vibrational energy. Now, a really obvious example would be the news, right? The news is designed specifically to keep us all in a state of very high anxiety, uncertainty, and fear. So when you take that on as your reality, you are going to feel those things in your body. It's going to lower your vibration. And in some cases, if it's very fear-based, it's going to start to shut your energy down and your energy won't even flow the way it's meant to flow. On the other hand, if you are taking in things that are, let's say, inspirational, spiritual growth oriented or personal growth oriented, or something optimistic, something that is just very positive to you personally, that's going to open your heart, it's going to open your flow of energy, and it's going to raise your vibration and place you in a much more natural state. So this is really important because how your energy flows is very significant. So you don't want to bring things into your mental space, and think of it as a space. Your mind really is like a space, and you want to be conscious and aware of what you are placing in there, what you are allowing in there. So one thing I would suggest that you do is, if you're taking stuff in, especially if it's stuff online, just stop for a moment and ask yourself this question. Does what I'm absorbing right now, does what I'm taking in right now support my spiritual evolution? Does it support my spiritual awakening and my desire to ascend? Does it support that? Or does it distract from that and take away from that? So self-care, when it comes to your mind, is very much related to you taking control over what you allow into that space, and make sure that it's supportive, it's optimistic, and it's helpful, it's information that supports you as the spiritual being that you are, who is trying to evolve, spiritually awaken, and ascend. Now, the more that you take command of the thoughts that enter your mind, the more clarity you will naturally feel, because you won't be allowing yourself to take on a whole bunch of junk that you don't really need filtering through your consciousness. And thus, you won't feel like a victim of your own thoughts. So this is a very important part of self-care that supports your ascension. So the fourth and final area that you want to focus your self-care on is the area of spirituality, your spiritual self, the real you, the infinite being that you are, that is ultimately transcendent of this earth. And this is where all of your power lies, your power of consciousness, your power to create, your power to choose your path in the universe. So the goal here is inspiration, because inspiration is a very high vibrational state of being. And inspiration infuses the other three areas, the physical, emotional, and mental. It infuses all of those areas with high vibrational energy. So it has an immediate positive impact on your entire being on this planet. So you want to look for sources of spiritual input that inspire you personally. It could be books, it could be video, it could be really anything at all that has meaning for you. But the goal is you want to find things and methods that really connect you to your true higher self. I could call it your highermost self, which is really the truth of who you actually are in the universe. You want to do things that connect you with that place. Now, one of the most powerful ways to do this is meditation, and meditation that specifically brings you back to your center, to that life force that keeps you alive, that orients you in your heart. Your heart is very, very powerful. It has an intelligence that transcends, that supersedes everything you know of on this earth. So you want to wake up to that experience. You want to become consciously connected to who you are as an infinite being and consciously connected to your heart, which is the center of who you really are. And that, my friends, is actually what connects you to the highest truth of love, light, oneness, and the ultimate reality that we are all evolving back into. Now, I think the best time for self-care when it comes to your spiritual self is first thing in the morning. And the reason I say that is because when you first wake up, when you first get out of bed, that is when your mind is the most clear and the most refreshed. And that is an optimal time to meditate, to go within, or to do something, whatever has meaning for you, whether it's reading, watching a video, that connects you to that part of yourself. So that's your goal. Your goal is to feel inspired, to feel optimistic about your place in the universe, not just on the planet Earth, but also in the cosmos, that you are that transcendent being that has power and command over your existence, not only on planet Earth, but also in terms of your spiritual awakening, your human evolution, and ultimately your ascension to higher and higher dimensions of reality. So self-care in all of these 4 areas is ultimately designed to reorient your consciousness. It's designed to orient your consciousness to the very real fact that you live in the universe right now, that you are not limited just to what you perceive to be your lifespan on planet Earth. You are right now fully positioned to go beyond that small limitation, that you are always on a path of ascension, that you are always on a path of evolution into higher and higher realms of reality. Ultimately, your destination is to reach that place of oneness, light, and pure love. So I would encourage you to consider the fact that you are on that journey right now. It's not something to wait for. It's not something that happens after you die. It's right now. You live in the universe right now. You are on your evolutionary journey at this very present moment. So when you engage in all 4 of these areas of self-care, you're going to clear your consciousness, clear your energy, and reorient yourself to a place of command and empowerment in the universe. So let me just recap for you what the 4 areas are and their goals. The first is the physical, and your goal is the optimal level of health for you. The second area is emotional, and your goal there is calmness and balance. The third area is mental, and your goal there is clarity, not having a whole bunch of junk piled in your mind that you don't really need in order to spiritually ascend and function well on this earth. And the fourth area of focus is your spirituality, your spiritual self, and your goal there is inspiration, so that you have that high vibrational state of being, that sense of true self and command over your journey in the universe. Now, don't feel that you have to take all of this on at once and overwhelm yourself. What I would suggest you do is look at those 4 areas and ask yourself the question, which area do I feel that I most need to attend to first? In fact, leave me a comment below and just write down one of those areas, the one that you think you most need to attend to first. Physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. Just write one of those words in the comment as your statement that this is the area I'm going to attend to begin this process. So understand that what you're trying to do is take a holistic approach to reorient yourself, not only on the planet Earth, but also in the universe. Take it one step at a time, be consistent, and you will begin to witness a wonderful transformation of positivity and optimism in your entire experience. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it out with your friends, and I would be so grateful if you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new video, which will be at least every single Friday. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you so much love, light, positive energy. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.